Ladies and gentlemen, Agnieszka Justitia the First of Onestia, the Queen of the Noble Queendom. The Easter Address. This Easter is even worse than the one last year, though the one last year was bad enough. I cannot imagine what the one next year will be like. Probably none of us or them knows. People dying, people going insane, suffering, anguish, trauma, all resulting from torture. This is not a recollection of the ancient days when Jesus was going through the torture causing suffering, anguish, perhaps free of the trauma. Still, we cannot be certain. Eli, Eli, lema sabachthani. Today, on Saturday, after the Good Friday, we, the Roman Catholics, move from the Old Testament times to the New Testament ones. For Christians, these are the times we have been living since. For Muslims, the times we have been living since start with the new teachings from God, transcribed in the Holy Quran. It is vitally important to uphold that perspective for the followers of the three religions. Believe in the same God. As it is witnessed by the 10th Surah. We took the children of Israel across the sea. Pharaoh and his hosts followed them in insolence and spite. At length, when overwhelmed with the flood, he said, "I believe that there is no God except Him whom the children of Israel believe in. I am of those who submit to Allah in Islam." The only difference is made by Christians who believe Jesus Christ to be the very God. The Roman Catholic Church of our times, defined now as the times we are living in now, with the focus point on the 11th of April 2020, teaches us that the transition from the Old to the New Testament consists, first and foremost, in the Eucharist. It is not true. The transition is made earlier, in the scene of testing, when the Pharisees asked Jesus through an expert in law, which was the greatest commandment in the law. Let me read it to you. Hearing that Jesus had silenced the Sadducees, the Pharisees got together. One of them, an expert in the law, tested him with this question: Teacher, which is the greatest commandment in the law? Jesus replied, love the Lord your God with all your heart, and with all your soul, and with all your mind. This is the first and greatest commandment. And the second is like it: love your neighbor as yourself. All the law and the prophets hang on these two commandments. As it is pointed out, the anguish, death, and resurrection of Jesus freed the people from their sins, apart from the blasphemy against the Holy Spirit. He who is not with me is against me, and he who does not gather with me scatters. And so I tell you, every sin and blasphemy will be forgiven men, but the blasphemy against the Spirit will not be forgiven. Anyone who speaks a word against the Son of Man will be forgiven, but anyone who speaks against the Holy Spirit will not be forgiven, either in this age or in the age to come. In a criticism of the Church, it should be pointed out that the pardons received on the basis of a pilgrimage are illegal, and probably there is a vast area of sacrilege within the usual sacramental service as well. Nonetheless, my point today is different. For it is also pointed out that with the New Testament we humankind enter a new covenant. The covenant of loving our neighbor. Around 2013, I was raped at home from outside. My flow of love, addressed to my beloved husband, wherever he was in the world, received a powerful flow of hatred. Pure love answered with pure hatred. It has been almost everywhere since. Think of it while celebrating the season. Agnieszka Justitia, the first of Honestia, the noble queen.